Hello, everyone. Welcome to this wonderful speech. As you can see, I am using a earbud as my microphone because I've been trying to record this speech for my speech class for a while now. But every room that I walk into, the AC turns on. So we are using this to limit that noise. So for this final, we have to do a multimedia speech. And I was thinking, I know I can do this because I make YouTube videos all the time. However, I don't know what topic I want to talk about. My friends said, talk about what you've learned during your first year of college as a freshman. And I said, you're right. That sounds like a great idea. So, this is my speech on a few things that I have learned during my freshman year at college. Number one, everyone is at a different stage of maturity. Ain't that the truth? I have quickly realized during my time at college that everyone's mentalities and how they view life are starkly different from one another. And that's because you're bringing all these different people from all these different places with all these different mindsets, and you're all putting them together, and you realize that a lot of people are at different places, and you yourself are at a very different place than other people. Something that I noticed as a freshman coming into college out of high school is that I very much had a high school mentality about myself in the way that I viewed things, in the way that my emotions operated, and with the things that I valued. And as I matured and went through experiences during my college experience, uh, those layers soon shed. And it was kind of odd to see that my own peers, that necessarily wasn't happening for them at the same place. Some of them were still living in that high school mentality, and it was a little difficult to kind of get them to realize for themselves the reality of a situation rather than the emotions, the socialness of it, and just look for things as they are. Everyone across the board is just in a different place. I've seen upperclassmen who are still in a high school mentality, and I've seen people in my grade who are some of the wisest people that I'll probably ever meet in my lifetime. Another thing about maturity is that everyone is mature in different ways. Someone may be very self disciplined, but they might be emotionally immature and not know how to process their own emotions. And yeah, like I said, looking back at who I was at the beginning of the year, I just feel like a completely different person. I know I literally say that in every video that I make, that I feel like a completely different person than I did 6 months, a year, a week ago, but it's true. Number two, the balance of rest and activity. Stillness is so important because without rest, you have no energy to do anything else with your life. You need stillness in your life in order to make room for rest, and you need motivation in your life to make room for activity. It is very important to keep a balance between those two because if you are just still all the time and you only rest, then you're not getting anything done. And if you are only motivated and only doing activity all the time, then you're going to crash and burn because you're never letting yourself rest. This whole year, especially the first semester, was a constant battle within my brain and my heart in order to just survive with so many plans going on at once and so many assignments and so many assignment schedules. Everything was happening at me all at once. Renew and just like renew and just everything was happening at me all at once, and it was just like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom with that big boulder. I don't know if that's the movie, but with that big boulder like coming at me, and I'm just like, oh my gosh! Like I really didn't know what to do. The balance of rest and activity is so important, and I was just throwing that out the window. And now I kind of think about what encourages me to be still? What encourages me to be motivated? What can I surround myself with in order to lead myself towards rest when I need it? And what can I surround myself with in order to lead myself toward motivation or doing that next great thing when I need to? Or being motivated just to get out of bed in the morning? Some questions that I would like for you to consider. Can you be motivated while still being still? And can you be patient about the things that you're motivated about? I feel like just when one door opens, another door closes, and everything, just all these opportunities are being presented to you, and you really just got to sit with yourself and sit with God about what is meant for me. And am I taking the rest? Am I being patient enough in order to be myself? And am I being motivated? Am I taking enough action in order to be pursuing the things that I know are meant for me? And finally, number 3 of the things that I've learned during my first year college experience, being present and humble. At the beginning of the year, my brain was so far-fetched. Everything was about me. I had to be part of every conversation. I had to know everything that was going on. I had to be in the future. I had to know exactly what I was doing. I needed to know what classes I was taking, what I was going to do with my degree. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I knew that I had to. Or just being so tied to the past and trudging it to the present so I could still suffer with that same trauma from before. When, no, we let that stuff go. We learn from it, and we hold on to the memory of the wisdom that we have gathered from it, gathered from that experience, but we move on in the present moment, and we look at the future with almost some sort of wonder, some sort of mystery of knowing what is to come for me will come for me. What is made for me will come to me. As long as I am pursuing that, and as long as I am resting in the present moment. I learned that listening is a lot more of a valuable trait than knowing what to say next. Before, I would just sit there while someone was talking to me, and while they were saying whatever they were saying, I would just be thinking about the next thing to talk about. Sit in the present moment. Humble yourself, and realize that another person's perspective is just as valuable as yours. Just simply saying, "Tell me more," to someone, and just being generous enough to allow someone the opportunity to open themselves up to you. Not everything is about you. Not everybody needs to know every single detail of what's going on in your life. It is important that you share with others, but it's also important that you allow others to share with you. Actively listening, actively caring about the people who you claim to be caring about. The present is such an important part of our lives. We always think about the past, we always think about the future, but the present is as youthful as you will ever be right now. And the present is as experienced as you have ever been in your whole life. What a wonderful intersection of who you have been and who you will become as the pinpoint of who you are becoming and who you have become. Like all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Isn't that great? Something that I wrote in my notes that I wanted to mention. Everybody is just people. Celebrities, politicians, your person who just checked you out of the grocery store. We're all the same. We're all uniquely different. But in that difference, we must remember that we are all the same. There is beauty in the simplicity of knowing that each and every person has the opportunity to make a difference. And yet, we all share the air that we breathe, the things that we see, the smells that we smell. I mean, the things we hear. We all value so much, and it's all part of life. And just be present in that beauty, and humble yourselves enough to open your eyes to it, be able to listen to it. Everything, you know? So that's what I gotta say about my first year at college. I met some amazingly great people. I had amazing professors, and I just learned so much. I made some great friends. I learned a lot, and here we are, already end of my freshman year. I had some rocky parts, and I may not have done the best in some of my stuff or had the most responsibility. However, things were meant to happen the way that they were meant to happen. And I've experienced things the way that God knew that I was meant to experience them. Amen. All right. Thank you for watching, and peace out.